Hey guys, today we're looking at 14-star LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and I'm trying something a bit different on this video. So the gameplay was already recorded on the Twitch channel, the 5-9 Gaming Twitch channel. It was recorded live. So I'm recording this intro after the actual video, the matches were recorded. And what I'm going to be doing, because I didn't actually like the commentary during the gameplay itself, is I'm going to be doing sort of like a discussion video inside of the showcase. So the gameplay will be playing, obviously, on your screen. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about some topics that have been brought up over the course of the past few weeks and months, concerns that you guys have had with the game, and we're just going to talk about it. And I feel like it would be good to add my perspective into the mix of everybody's discussions that they've had. As a Legends community, I think it's important that people contribute what they think about certain issues, so that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Anyway, the team that we're running is I guess sort of like a reverse red-red-green team. It's a green-green-red team, but it's the same setup because we have all the red and green buffers on the bench there. PyCon obviously has to make an appearance here, Android 13 and Deborah, and soon we're going to be having the I believe it's either Launch or Yamcha. I forget. I think it's probably Yamcha. I don't remember if it's Launch or Yamcha. Actually, no, I think it's Launch, because Launch, I think, buffs red and green. I think it's 45% blast stack and defense or something like that. So PyCon will soon be replaced as one of the optimal bench units for this team. But yeah, this is what we're going with. LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku is going to be buffed by Gohan. That's why I brought him on the team. Gohan does provide supporting buffs because he really needed to do that. He wasn't broken already. This is what we're running. These equips pretty solid here. So we're going to jump into the video. Again, I will be discussing things that aren't related directly to the gameplay, so if you guys can understand. Let's jump in and let me know down below what you guys think about this format, because it's a bit different. Alright, so let's get into things here. There's really two topics I want to talk about. One's like a mini topic, and then one is the main topic. We'll start with the mini topic first, and that is going to be Zenkais, as you can guess, because we have to talk about Zenkais every single discussion video, apparently, because it's by far, I would say, the most controversial topic or thing in this game that they've ever released. This isn't going to be a super long topic. I'll try and make this quick, but the one thing I want to reinforce is the fact that Zenkais are infinitely more worth it than summoning on new banner units, which is sort of counterintuitive to what I think they want to happen. So if you're a business, right, you obviously want people to spend on something that will earn you more money. That's just how businesses are. Zenkais for the player base are way cheaper, and they're way more beneficial for you as a player. So why the hell would you ever spend on like an LF unit? So let's just compare some of the recent Zenkais. Right? We have Super Gogeta, the red one. We have the blue Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, who's the most recent one, and then we have Yellow God Vegeta. Yellow God Vegeta is better than Gogeta Blue. Think about this. It takes more crystals to pull one copy of Gogeta Blue than it does to Zenkai 7 God Vegeta on average, right? People are always going to get lucky. People are going to pull Gogeta Blue like first summon, first multi, whatever it is. But the missions that they provide you, and this is why I always recommend people to get these missions. The missions that they provide you, I believe, what is it? Is it 2,000 crystals? I don't remember what the price is. Even if it's like 10,000 crystals, I would say it's probably worth getting those Zenkai missions done. They give you, what is it? Like 3,000 Z power of the unit. So that is automatic 7 stars. So you get 3,000 Z power of the unit, of let's just say God Vegeta, for instance. And then I believe they give you enough awakening power to get you to Zenkai 1. So you're getting a Zenkai 1 7-star unit with some extra resources like souls and stuff for whatever the price is, 2,000 to 5. I think it might even be 5,000, 2 to 5,000 crystals. Let's just say that. So you're talking about that versus an LF unit that is not going to be as impactful. So to me, what I think they're trying to do is they're trying to spin LF units into being a novelty thing more so than like a usable thing, because it makes absolutely no sense what they're doing with this. Red Super Gogeta is like a top 5 unit at worst in the game. he's borderline like broken, I would argue. The red Super Gogeta at Zenkai 7 fully soul boosted or whatever star level you have him at. You compare him to the recent LF units, he's like better than almost all of them. Like the only LF unit I would say that came out recently that could even remotely compete with this guy, I would probably argue is Broly. I think Broly is the best of the recent LF units that have released, but I think Red Super Gogeta at Zenkai 7 is probably better than him. Like, I don't know. This is the whole point I'm trying to make, right? If you're deciding on if I should summon for, LF units on a step-up banner, then well, as opposed to either Zenkaiing a unit, like 9 out of 10 times I would recommend you to Zenkai the unit, just because it's going to be more beneficial for you. The Zenkai ability is crazy. The unit's always very, very powerful. They're going to remain powerful for a long time. The blue trunks, right? I would argue the blue trunks is probably a better fit for future than Vegito Blue. I would confidently say that after using him a bunch of times now. So I think the argument when it comes down to, you know, people always say, oh, but if I don't summon for the new units now, I'm not going to be able to Zenkai them in the future. And that's not the case, because if they keep the missions around, because like I just said, you don't even need to own the unit when they get their Zenkai Awakening. You could just buy the missions, right? You could just buy the missions, and then you have them Zenkai'd already for whatever the crystal cost is. So let's say you don't summon. I'm just going to use this as an example. I don't think this is actually going to happen. Let's say you don't summon for launch, right? Launch is coming out tonight, as the day this video goes live. I'm dropping this video on the 30th of January. Let's say you don't summon for launch, and then, you know, in 9 months from now, launch gets a Zenkai Awakening. If you don't have launch, you can still buy the missions and Zenkai her anyway. So even if you don't summon for her now, that doesn't, you know, lock you out of being able to Zenkai her in the future. You can also pull subsequent copies of her on future banners and stuff like that. So my point is focus on Zenkais, because they're going to benefit your account much more than, I guess, new banners in the future. Unless there's like a good deal. And I'll tell you guys, you know, if you watch my videos, I always tell you guys which banners I think are worth summoning on. Mostly step-ups are worth summoning on, I would say. So even though, like, for instance, the LF Future Gohan, I would say definitely is extremely powerful. He's probably not worth chasing just because he's an LF character, and I never recommend chasing LF characters. His banner, if you're a future player and you have a decent future team, his banner is like extraordinarily good because it has a entire team already in the banner. Like the Future Gohan himself, you have Vegito Blue on here, you have Green Goku Black, you have Red Cell, you have Yellow Trunks, you have Purple Merged Zamasu. So like, they've built this team already in here, and then Purple Vegeta's on here as well. You have the Red Super Saiyan Blue Goku. They've put all these units in here specifically because it's aimed towards players who have a future team and who want to play the future team. So in those instances, I think these banners are worth summoning on. But again, even this banner that has a ton of these units on it is probably more worth, if you had to choose between one or the other, it's probably more worth just spending your crystals Zenkaiing the Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, because first of all, it's a guarantee, and he is really, really good. So anyway, that's the Zenkai topic I wanted to discuss. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is the main topic I want to talk about in this video, which is sort of like the backlash that the community has been exhibiting regarding the, I guess, rate of Legends Limited characters being released, or LF characters being released in the game. The first point I want to make about this is that they don't expect everyone to pull on every banner, which is sort of ties into what I was just talking about with, you really want to only pull on banners that are going to benefit the tags that you have access to and that you have focused on, right? The smartest way to play the game is to focus on 1 to 2 teams and then summon on the banners that would impact them the most. And the most criticism I've seen, you know, in, I guess, opposition to this point is, oh, you know, but if you focus on a tag that isn't buffed in a long time, then you'll fall behind. And I would argue it isn't always the case. For instance, if you focused on GT, which clearly hasn't been buffed in a long time, you might think that, you know, you'd fall behind drastically, but my counter argument to that would be there are a lot of units on these underrepresented teams that have multiple teams that they can be ran on, right? So if you're focusing on a team like GT and you went all in for the original Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta back, I think it was, yeah, New Year's going into 2020, clearly they're both Saiyans and they're clearly on their respective family teams as well that you can branch out to and run. So even if, you know, GT was neglected, which it has been neglected, and you summon for all these GT units, you could even say the same thing for the 2nd anniversary, right? If you prioritize GT, the GT banner with Omega and Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku over the Super banner with Trunks and Zamasu, Goku's a Saiyan, Goku's a Sun family unit, and even Omega, if you pulled Omega, and let's say you can't run GT anymore because it's not been buffed in forever, you can still run Omega on Regen and Fusion Warriors. So a lot of the time, even if you focus on quote-unquote maining a certain tag or a certain team, the units that you're summoning for can, you know, there can be pathways for them to build other teams down the road for you. So I think, you know, whenever people bring up that argument that it's like, okay, well, I focus on, you know, GT and now I'm screwed because GT sucks. Well, you can use the units you have access to build other teams now. There's a few exceptions, obviously, to that, like with female warriors, it's kind of hard to do that. So if you focus on female warriors for a long time and, you know, now it's like, oh, well, female warrior sucks. Unfortunately, a lot of the female warriors units don't really have the option to be around other teams, but the few exceptions, right? Android 18 is a good one. 21's a good one because she's regen, but then, like, you know, all the other ones aren't. Like if you have like Chi-Chi and Videl and all those units at high star levels, it's kind of unfortunate. But good. The good thing is that female warriors actually is quite good now. So, you know, Vados and the Zenkai 21 are very good. But with that being said, the question I guess that everybody has is their current pacing of LF characters justified? And to that, I would say, at the current rate at which we're getting crystals and new events, probably not. I would say it's probably not justified based off of that. In theory, if you take a look at the actual rate at which they're releasing LFs, it isn't much different than a game like Dokkan does it, to be honest. The big misconception, I would say, surrounding Legends Limited characters is that they are the equivalent of Dokkan's LRs, which I would strongly argue against that being the case. I don't think that's the case. Because if you take a look at the Legends Limited characters, they're still Sparkings, right? They're not a new rarity or anything like that. So, they're Sparkings, they just have an intrinsically lower pull rate, which I have always been against, by the way. You guys can go through my videos where I've discussed this, and whenever someone asks me, you know, either in a video or on Twitter or whatever, what I think the worst things about this game are, or the worst thing, what the worst things about this game are, I've always said that Legends Limited pull rates are like one of the worst things about this game. I've always said that. And, you know, they used to be 0.25%. Now they recently bumped them up to 0.5%. So I guess they're a little bit better now. But the step-up format's changed, so in actuality, it's not actually that much higher than before. But the point stands at the end of the day, that, you know, the intention of the devs, the Legends devs' intention, was for the Legends Limited designation sort of to be essentially their version of what a Dokkan Fest TUR is in Dokkan, and not an LR. So I think that's the important thing to take away from that. But anyway, if you look at the actual rate at which Dokkan releases Dokkan Fest banners, it's around 1 a month, right? It's about 1 a month, maybe a little less. Well, yeah, it's about 1 a month, with you know, LR banners woven in there as well. And that's not really that much different than the pacing we've seen over the past month or two in Legends. So it's really not that much different. All right, so now that that's out of the way, the reason I say that the current rate of Legends Limited characters is not justified is because of the amount of crystals and events that they are putting out. They're just not enough. And I don't think the current rate of events that we're getting and the current amount of rewards that we're getting, they don't even begin to give a lot of players a chance to keep up with new releases whatsoever. And even going above and beyond that, I mean, it just creates a lack of stuff to do in the game, right? I mean, you just you just take a look at all the events we've gotten over the past, 2 months. And releasing characters is actually a good way to promote diversity in PvP, which, of course, I'm all for. But you can't just neglect players who are invested and enjoy playing PvE. And to be honest, that's most of the player base, right? Most of the players don't actually play PvP. And out of everybody who plays this game, there aren't many people that appreciate meta diversity more than me. But even I understand that the PvE side of this game needs a lot of help. So hopefully that new game mode they teased in the most recent video and stuff helps sort of reignite the passion that many people had for PvE content in this game. So anyway, in conclusion, I think that people might, be slightly overblowing the severity of them releasing so many LF units in a short period of time. Because maybe that's just their plan moving forward. I don't know, like maybe they hired more people or something, or they plan on pumping out more characters, which actually does fall in line with their gacha games that are in their competitive sphere. And that's fine, right? I don't have a problem with them doing that. But if you're going to do that, you need to ensure that people have access to an adequate amount of resources to even have a chance at pulling these new characters. Otherwise people are just going to get upset, and I think that's why we've seen a lot of backlash lately, because people feel that the lack of events and crystals is basically a sign of the developers neglecting a large portion of the player base. which obviously is not good, right? So the current schedule is fine. I just think we need more avenues to earn rewards. So that's all they got to do, is just focus on that aspect of the game. But that's pretty much all I had here in terms of the discussion portion of this video. I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. You guys can let me know down below what you think about this, as well as if you enjoy this sort of different take on this content, because again, the matches are going on right now. I just, the discussion I'm talking about right now doesn't particularly pertain exclusively to what's going on in the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I will see you all in the next one.